Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Once again, it's Covered Weekly Webinar. And today's topic will be recruitment process defects. We usually would take about 5 or 7 minutes to wait for people to join in the webinar before we start. So that leaves us with about 2 more minutes to wait for maybe 1 or 2 people to join us in today so we can at least welcome somebody or welcome 2 people that are joining in today as we start. Looking forward to hearing from us today as we share and learn and, of course, grow together. My name is Gloria Olajesu Alichin John, and I will be the host for today, as we mostly have it. Looking forward to hearing from us today. So, just in a bit of 2 minutes, we would be starting proper. Thank you. Okay, it's about time already. Exactly 3:07. We would be starting already without waiting for anybody. So we're looking at the topic recruitment process defects this afternoon. And we're looking forward to learning and sharing, like I mentioned earlier. If you can see the slides on the screen, please kindly say that you can see the slides on the screen. Okay. If you can see the slides on the screen, kindly let me know that you can. Hopefully, maybe as more people join in, they will let us know that they can see the slides. Okay, so we'll be moving on because of time. This is Zoom, and we are very, very cautious of our time. So yeah, let's explain what recruitment really is all about, right? I know we've heard the word recruitment, we've seen it, we've heard it, we've experienced it, right? Either as people who are applying for jobs or as people who are recruiting others. Let's say we have managers in organizations, human resources executives and managers, and recruiters. Right now we have what they call recruiting managers, recruiting executive, recruiting officers, and all of that. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, my dad is on today's episode of Covered Weekly Webinar. Hi, Dad. This is for the record because I know I had welcomed you earlier, but we're not recording them. Dr. JMO Ekundayo, thank you so much, Daddy, for the support and the encouragement. Apparently, right now it's just you. I believe more people will be joining in as we move on. Right. So recruitment, as we know, focuses on attracting potential candidates for a job. So the word recruitment comes with attracting candidates or attracting a pool of clients for a job, right? And when we say candidates, we mean people who want to have this job, people who are interested in this job, you know. And yes, and we're also talking about people who are focused, not people who don't need a job. Because today you have people that call, I mean, we call candidates, but some of them are not very much, interested in actually working. Sometimes we say they are not serious. Let me use that word. So we are talking about real people who are interested in actually having a job or changing jobs, right? So I also included there that it's an activity, right? So recruitment is a process. It's not a one-off thing, right? It's not that, okay, we need somebody to fill in a role in an organization. We look for the person and boom, the person just comes in. No, it's a process, right? That involves you posting job adverts on various channels. Today we have various channels: Jobberman, LinkedIn, My Job Mag, All Nigerian Jobs, Glassdoor, Indeed, and so many, like that. Yeah, so you post job adverts, then you post the job descriptions, which we call JD. That is what we describe as a full detailed explanation of what a job is really all about. The title of the job, what the requirements is all about, what the what do you call it now? What the duties entail, right? So it's a process that also involves selecting the right candidates, not just anyhow candidates from the pool of applicants. So we first of all will have applicants. That's people who have applied for the job. I always explain to, I have a couple of students for a while that I've been training who are looking into transitioning their career into the HR, right? They used to be in a former career path, but now they want to transition to the HR. And I do train them some of these topics. And I remember telling them that recruitment is different from selection, right? And applicants are different from candidates. But today is not the day for that particular, what do you call it, education, right? Or topic matter, right? So when we talk about candidates, we're talking about people who have moved from being applicants to candidates. Applicants are the general people who have applied for the job that are saying, okay, I'm interested, right? It is after you have shortlisted your applicants from what you're looking for, that's the job requirements, to who you're looking for, because we have what you're looking for, that's in terms of hard skills. Then we have what you're looking for, that's hard skills. Then we have who you're looking for in terms of personality, attitude, and all of that. Then you shortlist them into candidates, right? Which means that you have checked out their CVs or their resumes, and you have probably had maybe one stage of interview with them, right? Then it also involves, that's recruitment now, we've been talking about, evaluating candidate skills, their qualifications, their experiences, their competencies, and all of that through interviews, right? Today we have various means of assessment. I have, recently done quite some assessments, while looking for, my dream job recently, and it's been very crazy the kind of assessment that organizations have out there. I'll talk about that later in the other part of the slides, right? So we have different various methods of recruitment, right? Assessment, aptitude test, personality test, skills test, and so on and so forth. Why? All for the purpose of identifying the most suitable hire. That's what recruitment really is all about, right? And then eventually and finally, the right and qualified candidate is chosen to be hired for the job. And I put here that recruitment and selection are two key parts of hiring processes. The hiring process that allows companies to find and attract the right or the best talent, right? And of course, it doesn't end there. We have the induction and onboarding. All of this are part of the recruitment process. I decided to share this at first so that we have a base, right? A foundation for what we are discussing today. In case people who are not HRs or are not managers or haven't even been familiar with this word recruitment before, some people got their job via connection or network, right? They know somebody that knows somebody that can, and then they got the job without even being interviewed or without any recruitment process. So it's important to always start with the foundation for the topic before we go fully into the topic. So because of time, I might be rushing so we can go directly into what we're looking at today. So we have identifying hiring needs. If we're looking at the process, right? Like I've said earlier, you identify the hiring need. That's the need for the job or the job role or the person that will be coming to work by the organization. Then you develop and execute a recruitment plan. What is your plan? How long do you plan to take to looking for this candidate or attracting this talent? Is it 2 weeks? Is it 3 weeks? Is it a whole month? Is it 2 months? Is it 3 months? You need to develop a plan and put some timeline, right? Then you prepare your JD, right? Then you put out your advert out there, right? Search for talents, search for applicants. Then you screen and shortlist your applicants. Then you interview your candidates. Remember what I said earlier, applicants move from being applicants to candidate. Then you interview them. After you have interviewed them, you check their references, try to confirm the requirements of the job, right? To the people you now have as candidates or the shortlisted candidates, and then you can decide and make an offer for the job. I hope I have been communicating so far. All right, great. So we're moving to the recruitment process defects. Moving to the recruitment process defects. Hello, welcome, Favor Elegbede. I hope I pronounced well. Hello, welcome, Emmanuel. Welcome, Oluwatomi. I hope you're all having a wonderful afternoon at work. I know this is a Friday afternoon. Thank God it's Friday. It's a whole lot on Fridays. You have deliverables, reports, and all of that. And I'm always grateful that people can take out of their time. Like my dad, who is currently on this episode this time. I know he has a lot to do, but he's still joining in. It means so much to me, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone, for taking our time out of your Friday. So like I always say, if you cannot unmute to speak, you can actually put in the chat box and I will read it and I will respond to you. Some of my friends ask, how do I do that? How do I talk and still respond? I don't know too, but we do it. All right. So yeah, recruitment process defects. This is the main thing we're looking at today, right? And the first one I'm going to be talking about is lack of clarity and definition of job role. Lack of clarity and definition of job role. What are we talking about here? So I have put it all. I'm supposed to bring it out one by one, but I said no. Let me bring it out all together in case we're not able to complete it, but at least you can see it on your screen. So we have lack of clarity and definition of job role or job description. This is a very big part on my heart. We may not be able to finish. I do not want to rush because, like I said, the purpose of the webinar is to educate, to learn, and to share. I'm also learning from you guys as you put in your comments and your contributions, and you guys are also learning from the little experience that I have. So I won't rush it, right? We do not have a time frame for any topic at all. So we can always continue next week as I get your questions, get your contributions, and so on. So, but I'll be talking right now about lack of clarity and definition of job role. As an HR manager who has experienced various processes of recruitment over the past, to the glory of God, 7 years now. So I began my HR journey, I would say 2018, right? And I have also been a candidate, right, for a particular job role or recruitment process of another company, and I have seen a lot, right? And I've learned a lot, and I'm going to be sharing that with us. What do I mean here by lack of clarity and definition of job role or job description? So there are many companies, managers, or recruiters or HRs who start a recruitment process without actually outlining what they really are looking for, right? What do you really want? So we have candidates or applicants who actually don't even know what they really want to in terms of the kind of job they want. But we also have recruiters and HR managers and CEOs and all of that who actually are not really sure what they want or who would they want for a job. This is very essential. I can take a whole lot of time explaining it. Why? So when we say clarity, it means you're supposed to be clear about your job title. So I recently saw a job. I have been on LinkedIn very recently, every day, just looking at things, laughing at things, looking at things, and I saw a job title and I was very scared for the person that would get that job. So I saw the job title as, they said, performance manager, recruitment manager, learning and development manager. So they put it's obvious that the person is going to be playing 3 roles. And instead of them looking for, you could have just called it HR manager, right? But they had to specify, I don't know, I don't understand. Performance manager, recruitment manager, learning and development manager. I think they put the manager at the end. So it was performance, recruitment, and learning and development manager. All in one. Fantastic, awesome, great. There's nothing wrong in that, but there's a lot wrong in that as well. So there's no clarity of what you're really looking for. You could as well just put an HR manager and then state clearly what the person's duties, job duties, JD, will be all about, or job responsibilities, right? Sometimes it's the job title that is not clear. Sometimes it's the JD that is not clear. I also saw another job, right? So I always click on this job, this thing, I set a lot of alerts for jobs on LinkedIn and I look at them. I saw one that they put there, what they call it there, performance manager. Yes, I saw it. Performance manager. And I went to the JD aspect and I saw that the JD said that the person was going to be responsible for sales to clients. That's one clause I saw, right? Or should I call it clause? Defects, right? The person was going to be responsible for sales. The next thing I saw was that the person was going to be responsible for, what's the other one I even saw again? The person was going to be responsible for, is it profits or something like that? Yeah, bringing in profits, right? The person was also going to be responsible for, yes, recruitment. Yes, I saw it there and I was like, wow. Okay, so you said the person is coming in as a performance manager, which means you already have the staff on ground that the person wants to ensure that they perform well, right? That's the person's job. But you're not saying the person, when I went into details with this recruitment aspect, I saw that they said that the candidate is going to be responsible for sourcing for the applicants, interviewing the applicants, shortlisting the applicants or candidates rather, inducting and onboarding them, a performance manager. You see what I'm saying? Like, so sometimes we HRs, I'm going to say we because I have my friends and colleagues that are HRs. Hi, Lydia Koyemi, my friend is here as always here every Friday. Thank you so much for taking our time again to join in the webinar. So you figure out that people are not even clear about what they really want in terms of who they want to be recruited, where they want to recruit, what they are really doing, right? And then the JD is also not so clear. I have seen some, I have a platform on WhatsApp. If you want to be a part of that platform, please just let me know right now. Let me know, please. Let me know in the comment section if you want to be a part of that. I have a platform where I share job opportunities every day. Yes, every single day. I share it there. So I saw once I was clicking on JD. This JD is very long. Imagine a JD as long as that on WhatsApp, not on Microsoft Word. Very long. Okay, yes. Emmanuel, you said you would like to be added to the WhatsApp platform. Yes, it's a WhatsApp group of, I think we're over 100 now. Yes, where people get to see various opportunities, share with their friends. Also, people have messaged me from there. They have applied for jobs. People have gotten jobs from that platform, to the glory of God. So if you're not on that platform, you're interested in joining, you want to be, please kindly put in the comment section if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're watching this right now and you're part of it, just put in the chat box. I will take note of your name and I will send you the link to joining the platform much later. So back to the topic we're talking about, right? So I literally saw the JD as long as what? I kept having to click read more for the JD, and there's no need for that. Clarity of role, clarity of JD. So we go to the next point that I have today because of time. It says judging a candidate's competency by their LinkedIn profile. This is a very, very unprofessional defect. I have seen HR say, look at his profile picture on WhatsApp. Like, how does that have to do with his delivery or her delivery of the job? Somebody has applied for a job. You have seen their CV, and it looks like they have the necessary skills and required skills that you need for the job. It looks like they are qualified as you want them to be. And then you check out their LinkedIn profile, and pleased, you're not pleased with the picture you're seeing. It doesn't mean they still won't perform on the job. I don't know the problem of recruiters. We have recruiters now. Back then, it was just HRs that were recruiting or admin managers sometimes. But that recruiters, HR managers will check out, profile pictures and say, I don't like the way this person is looking, so I'm not going to give them the job. You are not the owner of the company. And if you are a CEO that you're doing this, it is not professional of you. Sometimes you need to give people a chance, have an interview with them, whether a virtual interview. Today we have technology that we can interview people from all over the world. Have a virtual interview people from have a physical interview with them, whichever one it is that is convenient for you. Speak to them. You can have a video virtual interview. Speak to them, ask them questions about their personality, their self, their abilities to solve the kind of problem you're looking at solving in your organization, their experiences. Have them share with you before you decide that you can't give them the job. But you don't look at people's profile picture on LinkedIn and just decide that because they are looking a certain way. And this is also an advice to people who are employees. Even if you're an HR manager today, you can also be looking for a job tomorrow. I mean, I look for jobs and I do interviews as well as a candidate, not as the one interviewing somebody. Yeah, so this is also an advice. Do not put a profile picture like a passport photograph or a picture that looks as if you've been on 30 days fast on your LinkedIn. That is not acceptable. Somebody put in the comment box right now. It's not acceptable. You don't do that. You put up a professional picture of yourself, not a passport photograph, not a selfie that you've taken with your phone when you went out with your friend or something, and then put that that's not WhatsApp, right? That's not WhatsApp. That's on Instagram. That is a professional app. LinkedIn is a professional app. So put a picture that somebody's looking at you and saying that I can trust this person can do the job. This even if you might not even know how to do the job, let your picture show that you are somebody who is able to take on anything that is thrown at you, and deliver. Some of us, our pictures are not encouraging. Like I said, I've seen lots of pictures on LinkedIn. They are not good at all. I've seen a selfie, I've seen a group picture. Don't put a group picture. They can't identify who is who. If your name is Gloria, for example, you put a picture of three of you. Who is Gloria between the three of you? You need to put a professional picture. And in that professional picture, don't bone your face. Smile. Let somebody look at your profile and say, I can picture this person in our company. I can picture this person working in our department, working in our team, and delivering the best. Right. So to recruiters now, don't judge people by their profile. Maybe some people are just not as educated and informed, and the picture is not looking so good. Still give them a chance. At least have an interview with them. Hear them speak. Then you can decide that, okay, I've done all that I can, and this person is not the candidate that I'm looking for. Right. The next one says, calling abruptly for an unscheduled interview. Oh my God, this happened to me. In this month of November, this has happened to me like twice or three times. People just call me, hello, am I speaking to Gloria Olajesu? I'm calling from so company and all of that. Do you have some minutes to talk? In my mind, I'm like, when you say, I don't say yes, I have minutes again. I will not say it again because I have been very nice. I have a baby, right? For those of you that know, right? And sometimes for example, I have webinar from 3 to 4. Sometimes I have scheduled meetings. I have things I want to do. Sometimes I'm even going out. Sometimes they call me while I'm on the road. You understand? So I try to be very nice and I say, okay, yeah, I do have a short time to speak. And then I say, go ahead. And you're talking with me for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. An unscheduled interview. It's very unprofessional. What you're telling me is that if I'm working in your organization and you tell me that I'm on leave or I apply for leave, you have the tendency to call me on leave. That's what you're telling me. I always tell people that if people are interviewing you, you're also interviewing them. So if you're calling me abruptly and you're talking for 40 minutes, and in that 40 minutes, you even talked about things that don't matter. Like you're even trying to laugh with me on the phone, and we're not cordial. And it's supposed to be like an unplanned, unscheduled interview. I don't think I want to work in your company because what you're showing me is that you're unserious. Like you call me and say, "Is this Gloria?" And I said, "Yes, it's me." You're not telling me to go to my mail that you sent me something or congratulations, you have been selected to be interviewed at our company and all of that. You just suddenly went straight to asking me, "Please, do you have some time to talk?" And then I said, "Yes, I have some time to talk." You didn't tell me it's an interview. Just say some time to talk. Then the next thing they're asking me, so can you tell me briefly about your years of experience, what you've done at this company and so company? I'm very upset, but I'm not showing it because I need to be professional. And because if you are, Nigerian companies, recruiters or HRs, I'm going to say this with my eyeballs very big. We have very unprofessional sometimes because we feel like somebody is in need for a job. I'm going to say it in Yoruba, my language or dialect. They'll say, "Shebun lon washe." You say you're the one looking for a job. So anyhow they bring it to you, you must accept it. No, sometimes you need to let people know that you're professional. So even if you're eventually going to work in their company, they have respect for you. They know the kind of person you are. Where the places I've worked, they know I'm very professional. I can smile with you and laugh with you, but when it comes to work, work is work. Right. You play your part, I play my part. When we have happy hours and break time and all of that, yeah, or outside of work, oh, great. But we are doing work. Let's be professional. But you call me and ask me to tell you about my year. Like, on the road, I'm on the road. There was even someone I told once that I'm currently not in a place where we can have this conversation. Is it okay for another? I think the person told me that I'm currently selecting people that will be moving on to the next stage now. So I need to get your answer so I can know whether we are moving into the next stage or not. Can you imagine that kind of statement? Like you're literally putting me on the spot. You called me and then you're trying to tell me now that is it I talk to you or I lose the opportunity? That's what you're telling me. So recruiters need to stop doing this. HRs, you need to stop. We need to stop, making ourselves look like we're working in companies that are not professional. Even some startups are better off. Like it's very sad, right? You don't call people abruptly. You need to schedule interviews via emails, not text messages. I've seen some WhatsApp message. "Hello, is this Gloria Olajesu? I think it is you from your profile picture that I've seen on LinkedIn." Like, don't do that. You're texting me on WhatsApp trying to schedule an interview. It's wrong. It's not professional. We have emails for a reason. You email me, I tell you whether I'm available or not. Right. You email me, I tell you whether I'm available or not for the interview. Sometimes some people are even generous enough to ask you, which of these days would you be free for an interview? I like that. And what time would it be okay for you between 12 p.m. to 4 p.m.? That's professionalism, right? Then when that person is not ready, you know that that person is the one at fault. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So we should schedule interviews via the various channels. Email, not WhatsApp. Don't call people on the phone and say, will you be free to have an interview on Friday by 11 p.m.? Because people are distracted. Some people on the road, some people are doing something. You're not giving them that platform to be able to read. If it's an email, I can read, I can check my calendar, I can say, okay, I'm free. But you're calling somebody on the phone and say, will you be free on Friday by 12 p.m.? You're not calling to ask them to hang out with you. You're calling to tell them that they have been shortlisted for an interview, and that requires some processing to say, okay, I'm free on Saturday. I have said I'm free before over the call. Guys, I've said it. And I had to call the person again to say, I'm sorry, I thought I was going to be free, but I've checked my calendar again and I'm not free. Why? Because the person did not give me an opportunity to respond in a calm, settled manner. So professionalism is key in everything that I'm talking about today, right? Then we have the next point, asking inappropriate personal questions. Did you guys see my head? Did you see what I'm doing? Did you see my eyes? Very wrong. Yeah, by the way, this look and these eyeballs, my younger sister taught me. Grace taught me. She has that look when somebody's doing something that is not supposed to be done. So this is the look I'm giving. Do not go through recruitment processes or interview processes and ask inappropriate questions, personal questions. And I'm going to give some examples that I've seen people ask me. And I've even seen my previous boss. I'm not going to mention the person's name. I'm not even going to mention their gender or sex. Ask such questions. I remember then one of my previous boss asked one of the candidates that you look pregnant. Are you pregnant? That is so wrong. That is not right. That is uncalled for. I don't even know the adjective to use. Don't tell somebody that you look pregnant. Are you pregnant? What kind of question is that? How does that have to do with the interview or the job the person wants to come and do, for heaven's sake? You know, I'm pained. I'm sorry that I'm talking like this, but there are some things HRs do that, you know, that's one of the issues I have with Nigerian companies. God have mercy on me, because the unprofessionalism rate is high. Why would you look at somebody and say, have you eaten this morning? You look like you're hungry. Do you want to go and eat first before you have the interview? Why? You have successfully swept the person off their confident feet and have given them a cold feet that they probably didn't have. Don't ask personal questions like that. Don't ask people. I'm going to say this now. I know recruiters will not like this and HR managers will not like this, and I'm unapologetic about it. Do not ask people how much were they earning where they were working. It's not right. That is not your business. What is the budget for the role you are recruiting for? Is it 300K? Is it 200K? Is it 150? Is it 500? Leave it at that. Don't tell people that they are not worth earning that because what they were earning before was 200K and what the budget for the role is 500K. So the gap is too much. That is unprofessional. They don't do that. Don't ask people, can you send us your pay slip from your previous workplace? Don't do that. It's all right. Some people, yeah, some companies even do this, like foreign companies abroad, they do this. But if you check very well with professionals who have been professionals over the years that I know, I have a mentor and I've brought her to this webinar before. I'll bring her again to come and discuss topics like this. They do not unprofessionals that people do, right? Don't ask people to submit their pay slip. Why? You make them go through the stress of going back to the company and start, if they were not working there before, or their present company. Once somebody goes to their present HR where they are working and start asking for payslip, do you know what that means? That means that you have made the person tell the HR that I might be leaving your company soon. Because the only reason somebody will ask for payslip, major reason, there are other reasons, is because they want to share it with the new company they want to work, or a prospective company they're looking at working. Right. When you make somebody go back to the company they've stopped working for how many months to start asking for pay slip, especially if their relationship with the HR manager is not too good, or the accountant, you're putting them in a spot that is not comfortable, is not convenient, is not nice. Just go ahead with the budget you have for the role. Then another question, don't ask people personal questions like, Do you usually have mood swings? Are you an impatient person? Like, what are you expecting? Everybody's going to tell you that they are patient because they want the job. Because they want the job. You know, all these kind of questions are not necessary. How many children do you have? Like, these things I'm asking you, I'm not thinking it off my head. I have heard my previous bosses. I'm going to say bosses so that I won't look. I've heard them ask these kind of questions. I've also experienced people asking me that in interviews. Are you married? How many children do you have? You know. And then I say I have a child. Is he a boy or a girl? Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, ma. Okay, at this point, I don't want your job again. But really, you're not professional. What do you want to do with my children? Whether it's a boy or a girl. What does that have to do with the job? Am I going to be qualified if I have a boy? Because my child is a girl. Like, why are you asking? You know, I hope I'm not talking to myself here. You guys put it in the chat box. Are you with me? It's ridiculous. Don't ask such questions, right? Don't ask questions, you know, like, let me know. Let's go to the next one. Bias and unfairness, neglecting diversity and inclusion is also another aspect that I do not like, right? If you are recruiting for a female, like prior to when you're putting your job advert out there, put it there, preferably female or male. Don't now start interviewing people and start saying, oh, we're sorry, we're actually looking for a male or a female. We thought you were like, don't do that. Don't say that's gender discrimination. And then don't say you're looking for, you know, I've seen an advert before, it said preferably Yoruba. Why? Why did they do that? Like, so if an Igbo person applies and can do the job for you 100%, deliver effectiveness, like deliver all the KPIs, you will say because the person is Igbo. Why? Some people say because we've had issues with Igbo staff in the past or Yoruba staff in the past. So now we're looking for Hausa. Like, I don't even want to work in that kind of company because obviously it's a startup or it's a company that has not been growing. Because if you're growing in knowledge, you're growing in exposure, you're exposed, you realize that some of these things are unnecessary. You don't need to put preferably Yoruba, preferably, what do you call it again? Male or female, all of that. If you want to even put that, because you can't even throw that away. Some people will still put it regardless of that. But there should be no bias on fairness. Say because this person is from Ekiti State, so I'm going to employ her, or I'm going to employ him. Or this person is from Edo, and that's my wife's tribe. Like, you know, sometimes some of these things have favored people, and some people would want to tackle me and all of that and say, oh, there was a time I got a job and it was because I was from the man's state. That was why he gave me the job. Okay, yeah, I'm happy for you. But it's not professional because there could be other candidates there who are qualified, highly qualified, but are not of that tribe or the person's wife or husband's tribe, you know, and all of those things. It's not professional, right? So there should be no bias, no unfairness, no neglect of diversity and inclusion. We are one Nigeria, regardless of what is happening in Nigeria today. Nigerians are Nigerians. If they say, oh yeah, show your passport, how many of you are all of us, we're going to say we're Nigerians, except for those who have double citizenship, dual citizenship, and, you know, they are also citizens of other countries and do not want to claim Nigeria, and I wouldn't blame them. All right, moving on to the next point. Ignoring soft skills and cultural fit and only focusing on hard skills. Yes, there are companies who only focus on the CV, what the person can do for them. They do not focus on how the person can fit into their culture. The person's attitude. That's why companies now do attitude tests. You see attitude tests, assessments, and all of that. Aptitude tests, you see them everywhere. So yeah, you can't ignore that and just focus on can you do the job? You know, I've been in an interview before where somebody just asked me, are you sure you can do the job? Like, okay, I can do the job, but what if I have an attitude that can push clients away? What if I have an attitude that is not professional? You know, what if I do not have some soft skills? What if I can do the job, but I can't communicate well? And if you can't communicate well, it means you're going to have an issue internally, even with your departmental guys. I don't know if you guys are following me. So there are some soft skills that are very essential. Problem-solving skills. There are people that can do the job, but they don't want, you hear, especially these Gen Zs. They can do the job, like they can do the job, but they don't want wahala, no stress. In fact, they'll tell you they want to come to work only once a week. They say, is it hybrid or remote? If you say hybrid, they'll say, okay, how many times a week am I coming to the office? If you tell them 3 times or 2 times, they'll say, oh, that's too strenuous. Can we make it 1 time? All the Gen Zs, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I'm sorry, Gen Zs. Not all Gen Zs, okay, because I know they might come for me after now. Right? So please, you need to focus as well on soft skills, cultural fit. What other soft skills do you think are essential, when, of course, recruiting? Recruiting, right? Hello, Moyi. My friend is here again, as usual. Welcome to the webinar. She and Okwe, they always join every week. Welcome, Oyolua. Thank you so much once again for joining. And for everyone that has been here so far, I am so grateful. Thank you so much. This is not the time for thanking, but we're close to that time. So let me just end on this particular point before the episode for today ends, right? Ignoring soft skills and cultural fit can cost you a lot. You might think all that matters is just, can the person do the job? You will get people who can actually do the job, but they have attitude issues, right? They have personality problems. Some people are bipolar, right? Mood swing, mood swing, mood swing every time. They do not communicate. They have communication issues. They have lots of issues. They don't pay attention to details. They don't I don't know what to. They don't have emotional intelligence. That's another thing that I don't even like. And yeah, some people can learn it. Some people are teachable, but I'm telling you the truth. You can't really teach emotional intelligence if you don't have some kind of patience, and if you don't, some people are just the way they are. Anyway, so I'm going to be stopping here for today's episode of Cabo Weekly webinar on the topic recruitment process defect. I'm very sure that we have learned, even if I don't say a lot, you have learned one or two things. You have taken one or two things back today, either as somebody who's looking for a job, or as a recruiter, or as an HR manager, or as a CEO or owner of a company, right? So next week, we'll be continuing on this recruitment process defects. We'll also be continuing on solutions to recruitment defects. I'm going to be sharing that next week. Solutions. What are the solutions? And then we'll be looking at consequences, right? Let's look at the consequences before we now look at solutions next week, right? I do not know if we have questions at this point, though we do not have time to take questions, but I will appreciate if you go to the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, follow us on all our social medias. You can type your questions in the comment box and we'll do well to answer them. And if I know you personally, I would come to your DM and also spend some time with you to answer those questions. So follow us, email us, follow us on Instagram at Kavod_solutions, on YouTube at Kavod Solutions Change. You see our past session episodes of the webinar. You see them on our YouTube. Thank you so much for joining in today. Thank you so much, Dad, once again. I thought you were just peeping in and going out, but you joined all through. I'm so grateful. Thank you, my friends, and everyone who have joined. I hope you have a fantastic Friday.